If you could only have 3 light modifiers, what would they be? I'll give you my answer on today's episode of
Ask David Bergman.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Of course, as always, I'm David Bergman answering your photography questions. Today's is from Jake S. and he asked, if you could only own 3 flash modifiers to cover all styles of photography, what would they be? Oh boy, okay, this is a tough question. Only 3 flash modifiers to cover all styles of photography. Well, of course, look, it's kind of impossible to cover all styles with only 3 flash modifiers. But if I had to pick 3 to cover about 90%, I would want to make sure that I could work in the studio, on location, and get different kinds of light, and just to have enough variety to do whatever I want. So my first light, I really had to think long and hard about this, and my first light is going to be a nice general soft light. And here is what it is. This is the Photech Softlighter. I love this thing for a number of different reasons. It's affordable, it's lightweight, it's small, it folds up really easily and travels really well. Lots of photographers use this modifier, including one you may have heard of, Annie Leibovitz. She uses this thing a lot to give that really painterly quality of light. Now, the thing about this is you can use it as a traditional umbrella, right? You can actually turn it around, you could shoot through it, you can shoot reflective. This cover comes off, and right through here, it's basically a traditional umbrella. I've got my Canon Speedlight in there, but that gives you already 2 looks. You can do shoot through or reflected. But the key is really when you put on this cover on here, this modifier, this diffuser on the front, and it kind of turns into a big octabank at this point. It's a nice big round light when you turn on this diffusion. It's really soft, and you can use it with a bunch of different lights. You can use it with Profoto lights or Bowens mount lights. I've got, again, my speed light in there, so it really works with a lot of systems. So that's going to give me a lot of variety and a lot of different things I can do with it. So we're here in the studio today with Rosie. Hey Rosie, how's it going? She's been nice enough to sit in for this portrait so I can demonstrate the way these different lights work. And so I've got her sitting maybe 6-8 feet in front of a white backdrop, and then this light another 8-10 feet from her. And so what's going to happen, it's such a big, broad light source, I could have her moving around and really not worry so much about hitting her at exactly the right spot. We have her sitting still now just for simplicity, but she has a lot of space to move around. If I go ahead and shoot a picture, you can see also she looks beautiful. And you can see now that's just a nice big overall. I've got it sort of almost Rembrandt light off to the side a little bit, not quite, but this gives me just, like I said, a lot of options. I can move her around. The light is soft, it's pretty. Soft light is good for covering up any kind of blemishes, things. She has perfect skin, so we don't have to worry about that. But for somebody who does, it's really a nice soft light. So that would be my first go-to light for just about everything. Also, because it's such a big source, it's also lighting the background because I have it kind of far away from her in the background. If you watch my videos about inverse square law, you know how that works, and it gives me a lot of ability to get different looks and different kinds of light. Now, light 2, what am I going to do? Light modifier number 2, what am I going to do? Well, what I like to use is something complete opposite of what that was. So in that case, I'm going to use this thing right here. This is the Magnum reflector from Profoto. Now, this is a parabolic reflector, and you can use it with big studio lights like Profoto. Other brands do make a similar parabolic reflector like this. They're called different things. The Profoto one is the Magnum, but they make smaller ones that work with speed lights and with other brands as well. But here's the thing, this light is a hard, punchy light. It's really dramatic. This hammered coating on the inside here, it's got lots of little mirrors in there that make it really bright and really efficient. You actually get one more stop of light out of this thing than you do with the Profoto zoom reflector. You could also use other modifiers on here, grids, barn doors. You could put a diffusion sock on the front, which will tone down the specular highlights if you want. I didn't know if I was allowed to use any of that with this question, so I'm just sticking with the bare Magnum. So you could even back this thing way up and put a warming gel on it, and it would almost be like sunlight. So let's go ahead and make a few pictures of Rosie here. All I'm going to do is pop this onto a light stand here, and we've got this thing all set up and ready to go. And I'm going to raise this up out of the frame just to get that nice hard light looking down on her. There we go, right about there. Perfect. And now what I'm going to do is swap my transmitter because I've got that's a Profoto. So just to keep it simple, I'm putting the Profoto transmitter on my camera here. And my settings actually are all the same. I have everything set up perfectly how I want it. So now because she's wearing this really elegant, top where her shoulders are almost showing a little bit. I want to do like a film noir kind of a look on an old Hollywood picture. So I'm just going to have her, Rosie, if you can just look up to the light a little bit, maybe put your arms up by your shoulders a little bit. Perfect. Just like that. And let's make a couple frames like that. Boom. That looks great. We're going to do one more just like that. Perfect. So you can see how different that picture looks, right? And it gives me such a different quality of light. It's a much harder light. The fall off on her, the shadows on her face happens really dramatically and really fast. Now I could put a reflector on the other side or a foam core whiteboard underneath just to kick some light back in there, but I was told I could only use 3 modifiers, so I'm following the rules and not using that. So therefore, that other side of her face is going to go really dark shadow, and the background is really dark, almost black in this case, because that light is far away and the way it's aimed. So those 2 light modifiers together give me really a lot of different options and a lot of unique looks that I can get just from those 2 modifiers. Now, the third one, I really struggled a bit with what I was going to do there. Obviously, I could pick more light modifiers to work with in the studio, strip lights or reflectors or those things. But I also cover a lot of events outside the studio, and you might be a wedding photographer, or a lot of times I'm backstage with a band and I'm just doing run and gun situations or things like that where I'm moving around quickly and I'm shooting on camera flash and I'm just bouncing that light, usually at a ceiling or a wall. Well, my favorite modifier for that is this right here. So this one's called the Mag Bounce. And what this does, this really increases the spread of the light as opposed to using just your regular on-camera flash by itself. And so it spreads it out a little more, but it's also really efficient in pushing the light forward. This by far is the best, one of the most efficient light modifiers I've ever used for on-camera flash. Now, they also make one called the MagSphere, and it's sort of a rounded one that pushes the light in all directions. If you know you're going to have a good ceiling and like white walls around and you want the light to bounce all over the place, that's the one to use. But this one is the one I really prefer, the Mag Bounce, because a lot of times, so I do, the artist I'm on tour with, I do his meet and greets backstage where he meets fans, and I never know what kind of ceiling I'm going to have, so I use this thing. My light looks the same, my pictures look the same every single venue, every single day. So by far, this is my favorite one. Now, the way that works is you take your on-camera flash, you have to have one of these things. This is the Mag Grip. You put this thing on top. It's a little hard to get on there because it's really tight, but once you get it on there, that thing is not going anywhere. And there are magnets in there. That's why the company is called MagMod. And once you get that thing on there, you can just stick that on there and that will hold really, really well. You put that on your camera, you shoot with it pointed straight up and all that light comes forward. So I really like to use this thing. I'm not going to shoot pictures with this right now because this really is for a run and gun kind of situation. It doesn't look great in the studio. You could take 2 of these and put them on light stands to do more of a studio portrait. You could put gels on them. You could use as many of them as you want. But that would be my third choice because of those run and gun type situations. So really, it's next to impossible to pick only 3 light modifiers, but I think those 3 would cover just about every kind of situation I could come up with. So let me ask you this. What do you think you would pick? What are your top 3 light modifiers? If you could only have 3 on a desert island, what would you do? So that's my question to you. Answer in the comments below. It's really impossible to pick 3, but I think those 3 would be really good to go with. Thanks so much for asking that question, Jake. I really appreciate it. Don't forget, of course, if you have your own photo question, go to AskDavidBergman.com and I will pick the best ones and answer right here. Also, I do my own live concert photography workshops. Hopefully you can join me throughout the United States during the year. At a workshop, go to shootfromthepit.com. Finally, you're already here on Ask David Bergman at Adorama TV. I hope you're a subscriber to Adorama TV's YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you back here next week on Ask David Bergman.